You're listening to Murder Not Murdering with Erin,
and Autumn,
a true crime podcast about murder and murdering.
but we are not murderers.
Welcome back, Autumn. It's been a minute.
It's been quite a while this time.
I know. We apologize for that.
Life just got in the way.
It's Autumn's fault. So,
I mean, thanks.
I'm just going to out you right away.
I was like, cool. She doesn't have my back at all.
No, not even a little.
Yeah, life just got in the way.
Yep. Been busy getting stuff done. But yeah, so I've definitely been missing this a little bit.
Me too. It's definitely exciting to be back.
Yes, for sure. I also am doing a more modern timey murder.
And I am so excited to hear it.
I know. I just always get worried that either A, we will both cover a case that, that you were planning on doing or something like that when I pick something more modern. And B, I also worry that maybe, it'll always be one that you know of.
I mean, I like listening to stories that I know over and over again. So that doesn't bother me.
That's true. You will watch a rerun of Unsolved Mysteries like 500 times in your lifetime.
Heck yes. And I'll listen to different podcast episodes on a case that I know already. And I'll watch an ID channel documentary about, I don't care. I like it all.
Totally. Well, I'm going to be doing a murder tonight, obviously. Duh. Thing. We're
Welcome
a little out of practice, folks.
Murder Not Murdering.
Yeah. We'll be talking about murder.
What? Oh, I'm on the wrong podcast.
I know, right? Oops, hold on. I just pulled out my headphone thing. Oh, guys, it's a real doozy now.
She did that on purpose so she couldn't hear me.
What did you say? I edit this, so
I didn't actually say anything. I didn't take the opportunity.
Yeah, right.
We'll find out, won't we?
My innermost secrets just told to all these people on our podcast.
Dude, that was not enough time. I need more time than that to tell all of your innermost secrets.
Sure. Okay, so I'm going to jump into this. And before we got started, I said to Autumn, oh my gosh, I need to come up with a title for this. I want a name for it that doesn't just give it away. And there is a Jeopardy reference. And so I was like, I'll take murder for 500, Alex. And then I had all these other stupid ideas. So I'm just going to tell you about the murder of Linda Kinkade.
Stop.
But I'll also take murder for 500.
Okay, let's do it. I'll go for 1,000.
Yeah, it's the daily double. Yes. I had so many things. It's like, just say your name. Come on, stop being a dumb. Okay. So, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, here we go. Linda Kinkade had beauty and brains. She was meticulous about her style. Though she had so much going on for her, she never felt loved. Her mother always treated Linda differently and doted on her older sister, Pat. Sad.
That is sad.
I know. Her older sister was an Olympic hopeful figure skater. And as Linda's close friend, Mary Siebold said, Pat got the cake and Linda got the crumbs. This lack of love sets Linda up for always trying to find that love through men. She married twice, and in between marriages, she also had a lot of long-term relationships with other men. Always wanting to find a long-term relationship, Linda was approaching her 40s and she finds herself alone. It's March 1989. when a new scientist starts working at the nuclear power plant where she works, a man named Paul Curry. Linda can't take her eyes off of him. He was very smart and well-loved by all who met him. He played the piano and seemed to know a little bit about everything. In fact, he had just won $60,000 on the show Jeopardy!
OMG.
There it is. There's my Jeopardy. That's the one thing in the whole thing. That's the only thing
$60,000 is a pretty substantial amount back in the 80s.
Sure, but I mean, it's also like the only thing in this thing that's about Jeopardy, and it doesn't even involve her. So, but I just wanted to say a Jeopardy thing. Anyway,
that's the connection.
There it is. For the first time in Linda's life, she felt really loved, and Paul was extremely doting on her. She loved to be taken care of. Friends thought that Linda and Paul were the perfect couple, and they loved seeing her happy with a man 13 years her junior who just gushed over her. They married September 12th, 1992 in Las Vegas, Nevada. They spent a lot of time together, whether at work or cooking at home. Paul loved concocting his own salad dressings and preparing meals for his new wife. Sometimes he used all the ingredients from their backyard garden, which he maintained. It wasn't too long after the marriage began when Mary, Linda's good friend, became concerned when she received a phone call from her that was worrisome. Dun, dun, dun. Linda said, Paul's getting real intent on getting everything put into his name. The mortgage, the life insurance, 401k. Let me ask you something, Mayor. He wants to put $1 million life insurance policy on me.
Red flag.
Mary replied, okay, but you're getting one on him as well? Linda said no, and that Paul thought that it was a good idea for her to get the life insurance because she was older. Rude.
That is so rude.
Right? Eager to please her new husband, Linda obliged. These were red flags.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, if I just got married and Josh was like, so let's get an insurance policy out for you. I was like, wait, what? I'd be like, I'm sorry. What?
Also,
murdered.
Yes. Also, why not on you?
Exactly. Well, she asked him that and he was like, well, you're older. She's 13 years older than him. So he's like, well, you're older than me. So, and I'm young and healthy. I don't really need it.
And then I would have said men die before women. So I would have outlived you anyway. So let's go with the policy.
Seriously. Also, he took care of all of the bills and she didn't know what he was doing with the money. But again, she really liked being taken care of and enjoyed relinquishing this to Paul. Another red flag went up when on one occasion, Linda answered the phone and there was a woman asking where her check was and if she could talk to Paul. The unknown woman was wondering when his child support would arrive.
Excuse me?
You see, Paul always liked to answer the phone. And this was a rare occasion that Linda even picked up. She was shocked. A child belonging to Paul was news to Linda, and so were his other 2 previous marriages.
Stop.
Yes.
What the hell?
Uh-huh. When confronted, Paul confessed his history to Linda and excessively apologized.
I bet, Paul. I bet.
Mm-hmm. To show how sorry he was, he booked them a 3-day cruise. What was supposed to be a romantic getaway turned into an oceanic nightmare when passengers got sick with hantavirus, which is spread through rodents and it can cause fatigue, fever, muscle aches, then headaches, dizziness, diarrhea, and abdominal pain.
Ew.
Linda was the first to get sick. Then Paul. After a few days, Linda's condition worsened and she required hospitalization for the last several weeks.
Jesus.
When Mary arrived at the hospital, Paul told her to prepare herself for what she was about to see. And I wasn't prepared at all. And that's when I knew I could lose my friend tonight, she said.
Okay, that like is already breaking my heart.
Nothing alarming came up in Linda's blood work, and doctors couldn't understand what was killing her. They wondered if it was a psychiatric disorder, perhaps Munchausen syndrome, where a person intentionally makes themselves sick to receive treatment and attention. Another theory was radiation poisoning, as she worked at a nuclear power plant. But then Linda's symptoms disappeared before the doctors could diagnose her. So crazy.
And very mysterious and kind of alarming.
Although 25 pounds lighter and still weak, she finally returned home. The illness even seemed to bring the couple closer together. Paul was affectionate, drawing Linda bubble baths and being at her beck and call. Over time, she regained some of her health back. One of Linda's lifelong friends, Frankie Thurber, moved in with the couple. One day, Linda asked her for a reality check. I'm wondering if Paul really loves me. Frankie said that she's always wanted to be an FBI agent and jumped at the chance to watch Paul like a hawk.
That sounds like us.
Yeah. I thought you'd like that part.
Yes.
But he seemed to be a really doting husband. And she told her that from everything she sees, he does really love her. Linda started to regain her strength, and they both really enjoyed entertaining. So they had a party. One night, after a few drinks, Paul had quite a bit to say. Their friend Betty Reeder said, "We were having cocktails and somehow the subject turned to poison. And he made the statement that he could go out in his garage and make something up and give it to somebody and he'd never be detected."
Who is this guy?
This was quite a strange statement to make. But again, he was such a doting husband, everybody just moved on with the conversation.
I would not have moved on.
No. It was all going very well until New Year's Eve, 1993, when Linda became violently ill once again. Recognizing the mysterious sickness was returning, she admitted herself to the hospital immediately. After one visit to see Linda, Mary and her husband stayed with Paul at his house because they didn't want to drive all the way home. While there, Mary found papers about Linda's financials and life insurance on the dresser. All of them seemed to relate in one way or another to death. Mary wrote all of this down and documented everything. That's when I realized this man was trying to do something to my friend, said Mary. And also, just a quick shout out to Mary for being fucking awesome and putting her detective hat on and writing everything down. You know, it's not like they had camera phones or anything then.
Yeah.
Smart to do that just in case.
Yeah, documenting things.
And I mean, she hadn't even talked to Linda at this point. She just went to her house while she was visiting her in the hospital.
Yeah. That's a good friend.
The plot is going to thicken, Autumn.
Okay.
Mary's suspicions grew when several days later, a nurse at the hospital discovered that Linda's IV bag had been tampered with. The nurse found a needle puncture in the tubing. Luckily, they caught it early. Hospital,
What?
Yeah.
The hell, dude.
Hospital security called authorities, and detectives from the Orange County Sheriff's Office interviewed Linda at her hospital bed. Investigators recorded the interview and asked who might want to poison her. And it's chilling when you listen to the recording. Well, the only person I can think of that would have motive to do it would be Paul, Linda answered. I just don't want to believe and think that he would do that. He seems like a very good husband.
Okay, that's so heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm. Before the investigation could gain traction, Linda was released from the hospital. Friends, however, tried warning her that they suspected Paul was behind the mysterious sickness. It was now 15 months into her marriage, and Linda was still suffering from bouts of diarrhea, vomiting, and severe dehydration. Linda's friend Mary talked over her suspicions with Linda, and Linda just did not want to believe it. Sadly, they stopped talking at that point.
Oh,
A
no.
lifelong friend, and she made a point to tell her, you know, I made vows to Paul, so sorry, and just walked away from the friendship.
That is just so shitty.
And sad.
Really sad.
It's not going to get any better.
Oh my God.
On June 9th, 1994, Paul wrote Mary and asked for help. He said Linda was wobbly and incoherent. The next day, she was dead. Linda was 49 years old. Friends and family remained divided over the possibility that Paul had poisoned his wife and that there was never any proof that she was poisoned at all. Paul acted distraught at the funeral. Linda's sister requested to see her in the casket, but Paul said no because he was Jewish and it wasn't his tradition. Her sister, needing to find closure, managed to get the casket open. What they saw was upsetting. The meticulously stylish beauty was in mismatched clothes that she never would have worn. Her hair wasn't done and she looked nothing like herself. Her sister was so upset she had to leave the funeral and got physically ill.
That is just, my heart is just, I just can't even process that.
But if he loved and cared about her so much, why would he have her buried in something she never would have worn? You know?
100%. And because he was Jewish, I don't think she ever converted to Judaism.
No, she did not.
So it wouldn't matter.
No. And her sister was like, I have to see her to say goodbye. It was a whole thing. Anyway, Paul was able to collect on the life insurance policy and Linda's 401k. The case then went cold until 2002, when Sergeant Yvonne Scholl got a hold of Linda's file and the taped interviews. Scholl heard of the tapes and heard of Linda saying that Paul had motive. It was like her talking from the grave to me, said Scholl, that it's Paul who murdered her. Scholl dug into Paul's past and discovered that he had worked at nuclear plants around the country, but didn't have any degrees. She also spoke to Paul's two previous wives, and the second wife said she also thought she had been poisoned by Paul. I had no energy, very dizzy. It was really hard for me to get out of bed, said Paul's second wife, Leslie. I saw so many doctors, took many pills, and no one could really diagnose it correctly. She was sick for over a year, and Paul asked her to get life insurance. Ultimately, she was rejected, and soon after, he left her for Linda.
Oh my, wow.
Yeah. Detective Scholl explained that one of the more common reasons to be rejected for life insurance is because people will lie and say they're non-smokers, but tests come back positive for nicotine. Then she referred back to Linda's postmortem toxicology report. Scholl found that she also tested positive for nicotine. But here's one thing. Linda did not smoke. In fact, no one in her household did. And they were known not to let people smoke in their home and were like notorious non-smokers.
That's suspicious.
Very. The autopsy also showed a small mark behind her ear, but it wasn't enough to prove that it was a needle puncture at the time the autopsy was performed. In 1994, toxicology analysis wasn't as good or as sophisticated as it was in 2002. Scholl found that Linda's system contained 50 to 100 times more nicotine than that of a regular smoker.
What?
Authorities were able to confirm Linda died of nicotine poisoning.
Wow, that's really unique.
Isn't it, though? Authorities theorized that Paul put tobacco in Linda's salad dressing over long periods of time. Toxicology reports also showed that Linda had a toxic amount of Ambien in her system, which is a sleeping drug, in case you don't know. They believed Paul drugged her before injecting her with the fatal dose of nicotine behind her ear. So she was pretty much asleep when he punctured her ear behind her ear and injected her with a fatal dose of nicotine. Paul had since moved from California to Kansas. And now I really love this part because Detective Scholl posed as a local officer to let Paul think that he had the upper hand. And she didn't want him to know that she was from California. So she talked to local police and had them set up an interview with him to go over some of the details. So he got brought in and she used the name Marie, which is her middle name, to try to make it seem like he wouldn't recognize her name or recognize that she was from California at all. She just was sitting in there with another detective. And then the detective got up and left, and it was just her and him. So in the Kansas interview, Scholl had Paul confirm he was alone in the home when Linda passed away. Paul putting himself by Linda's bedside made him the only plausible suspect, and it was enough to place him under arrest. And you should watch the interview because it's a nail biter. She reveals she's a detective from California and tells him she believes he killed his wife and he was under arrest, and tells him to put his hands behind his back. It's glorious. I'm not even kidding. I was so like, oh yes, get him, girl. Oh, It was so good. Like, seriously, if you can watch the interview because it's a good one. Now, back to the case. On September 11th, 2014, nearly 20 years after he killed his wife, Paul stood trial for Linda's murder. The charges against him were insurance fraud and murder in the first degree with special circumstances. On September 30th, 2014, a jury, after deliberating for a day, found Paul Curry guilty on all charges, and he received the maximum sentence of life in prison without parole.
Good.
Well, and it took 20 years for him to get his conviction.
That's way too long.
Way too long. Linda wanted to be loved. Assistant District Attorney Ibrahim Badia said, she just wanted to be treated like a princess, and he did exactly that. He told her what she wanted to hear, but that was the biggest mistake she made, and unfortunately, she paid for it with her own life. My sources were the show Charmed to Death, Crime Online, and ABC News.
That's so sad.
I know. It's a really sad one, but I feel like I haven't heard many cases of nicotine poisoning.
No.
And I found that to be fascinating.
Yeah, that's very unique.
And that this guy came in and he, wined and dined her. But then when they started looking more into his past, you start to find he had other wives that had been sick in the same way over life insurance.
Yes, over life insurance. He had children.
Yeah. So many things that were so off the wall and out of character. And it's just,
yes.
And the thing is, he was so good at what he did that people found it extraordinarily hard to say that, yeah, he definitely did this. Like, even after the fact, they were like shocked beyond belief because they seemed like the perfect couple, like happy as could be. And Linda was happy. She just was very, very, very ill as well.
Yes.
I mean, it's heartbreaking too, because Linda was someone so full of life and beautiful, and not that there's, you can be beautiful in so many other things, but she was beautiful and she was smart, and it's just so sad to me that she was always seeking that love and finally felt like she got it. And then it turned out that he basically just murdered her for money.
Mm-hmm.
It's gross.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. But again, I've never heard of nicotine poisoning. And if you get a chance, do watch the interviews because, you know, in my old timey cases, I don't get a lot of chances to see actual interview and video of any of this. So it was actually kind of exciting for me. I'm going to do another modern one next, and then I'll get back to some old timies. If you do have any ideas or something that you come across that is an older crime, please send us a message at info@murdernotmurdering.com or DM us on Instagram, because we always love finding something new, something unique, something that maybe people hadn't heard of before. Or us.
Or us, yeah.
I mean, it's always fun. I always love when people have one. They're like, oh, my brother's uncle was murdered. Let me tell you about it. You know, I just love that because that's something you wouldn't necessarily have found or heard of. Like the first one that I covered, which was Josh's great grandpa, you know,
which is that was so cool.
I know the amount of research though. Whew, that was a lot.
I know.
But it was really great to kind of uncover that and find closure for his family too. So anyway, that was my story of the murder of Linda Kinkade. Up next, we will have one from Autumn, but first we'll hear from our sponsor and we'll be right back.
And we are back. And Erin kind of sprung it on me that I was bringing us back, and I kind of panicked because I'm a little awkward. So I hope that wasn't too weird.
No, there wasn't a real weird, awkward pause. So it was fine.
Great.
I just thought we'd come back and you'd be like, hi.
So this is what I'm doing now.
I guess we'll just do some murder talks.
Yes. Then forget all of the words and all my story. No, I got this. I am a professional. I just keep telling myself that.
We're what I would call recording artists.
Oh God.
Yeah.
We're professional recording artists.
Yes. Yes.
Don't edit this out because this is our truth.
As long as we speak our truth, Autumn, everything will be okay.
Oh no. I don't know how well this story is going to go over. It's very disturbing.
Yes. You have texted me this several times.
I know.
My story is really disturbing. Just so you know, my story is really
disturbing. I had never heard of this story.
Right. It was really tough. It's going to be a really, really tough one. I was like, looking forward to it.
I'd never heard of this story. It actually didn't get very much media coverage, which when I tell it to you, it's going to blow your mind, because once I've started reading about it and watching the YouTube videos on it, I was like, how did nobody talk about this?
Okay. I want to know. Let's jump in because I'm sitting here chomping at the bit.
Okay. Mine doesn't have a funny title. It's just his name.
Great. Thanks, Autumn.
You're welcome. I know. So uncreative. Okay. This is the case of Randy Stair. I'm going to start off saying
there's a disclaimer.
There's a disclaimer, but it's not a trigger warning.
Okay.
I just had to say it because I saw some conflicting information and I don't want to be disrespectful.
Sure.
This is a sensitive story about a deeply disturbed human, and there's a lot of conflicting information, as they referred to themselves as not transgender, but said they were a female trapped in a man's body, but did not feel that the term transgender applied to them. I want to be as respectful as possible to the transgender community, but also narrate the story as close to how they portrayed themselves publicly and to their family and friends. Okay. I will be referring to Randy as him, he, as that is how he referred to himself on all social media videos that I have seen. So it's not me not respecting that he wanted to be called a she.
You're not gendering them.
Correct. They refer to themselves as he, him. Okay. And so I will refer to him as that.
Okay.
Randy Robert Stair was born on September 17th, 1992, in Dallas, Pennsylvania. Born to Robert and Lori Ann Stair. He was the oldest of two boys. Growing up, Randy was quiet and shy. He hated being the center of attention and would rather be alone. Despite being a loner and never going on a single date, it seemed he had a very normal childhood. He was a YouTuber with a following who knew him by the name of Andrew Blaze. His channel, Pioneers Productions, started in June 2008 and featured short sketches and collaborations with other content creators. In the beginning, it was mostly comedy sketches starring the then 15-year-old and two other made-up characters, Froggy and Whale. Randy had found Froggy, which was a stuffed animal, in a shopping cart at Weis Supermarket, smelling of cigarettes and being extremely dirty. He took it home to clean it. I mean, that's not my first choice, but
you know, I mean,
he was 15.
Yeah, he's gonna find something. It's fine. As long as he cleaned it, then
yeah. I mean, he was a little quirky, picked it up, brought it home, and eventually started doing skits with it. Whale was a perverted predator who hit on Randy in skits, also a stuffed animal. So he voiced this perverted predator that hit on him in this like really strange, deep voice. The whole thing is kind of strange.
Yeah.
This content featuring Randy, Froggy, and Whale lasted for a couple of years. He grew a small following of about 9,000, and eventually the channel was monetized in 2011 when he became a paid YouTube partner, which was a big goal for Randy.
Wow.
I have watched a few of these videos and I didn't really find any of them comedic, but to each their own.
Sure. Also, like for me, I think of someone who's voicing things like that through puppetry. Mm-hmm. It kind of makes me think that there's some trauma that they're working through.
Right. And that would be
it would make me extraordinarily uncomfortable though.
Yes, it's not pleasant to watch, honestly. Randy was obsessed with the Columbine High School massacre.
Oh God.
And specifically Eric David Harris, who was one of the two shooters. In some of his journals, he has noted that they were his heroes and wished that he could have met them in person.
I don't like that.
No, he even went as far as having shirts made that said natural selection on them, which is the same shirt that Eric David Harris wore during the Columbine massacre.
I don't like that. I feel like Columbine, especially for like people of our generation specifically, was such a huge moment in time.
Right.
You know? And I mean,
we actually, you and I, fun fact, met during a bomb threat in the years after Columbine when schools were on high alert.
We were being evacuated.
Yes.
For an actual bomb threat.
An actual bomb threat. That is how Erin and I became friends.
It's a true story.
Which is so bizarre.
And we had like several that year too.
Yes, so, it was a lot.
I feel like that immediately is a little triggering for me, just like even hearing it, because it was such a big deal at the time.
Yes. And it still is.
Absolutely.
That was just such a horrific event. And for somebody to be obsessed with that and to call them heroes is extremely disturbing.
Yeah, I agree.
Extremely disturbing.
I agree.
In 2010, at the age of 18, Randy started his first job at McDonald's, but hated it so much that he quit within 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yes. This really upset his parents. They expected Randy to be able to contribute to the household now that he was an adult.
Sure.
Randy, though, really just wanted to make money from his YouTube channel and didn't have any desire to actually work a job.
Mm-hmm. But was Randy making money from the YouTube channel? I mean, I heard
it was monetized.
That doesn't mean he's making money.
Yeah. I don't know how much money he made or how the payments work for that, but that was his ultimate goal, was that to be his actual job.
Sure.
Which I feel is a common goal of a lot of people in general in the era
especially
of technology and influencers that we live in, etc. But that he didn't like the idea of money and working to obtain it. He expressed that resentment towards his father in a lot of videos.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Nevertheless, Randy's dad got him a job at Weis Supermarket in Eaton Township, Pennsylvania, where he was a supermarket manager.
That's where he found the Froggy, right?
Yeah, that's where he found Froggy. Full circle, right? Now he works there. He was probably there. I mean, that was a supermarket, but his dad was a supermarket manager as well.
Oh, okay.
So that's how he got a job there.
Yeah.
But he found that frog like years and years and years ago.
Sure.
In 2011, Randy graduated high school and went on to community college. But he never was into school, and that was far from his primary focus. He was still very much all about his YouTube channel and creating content for his channel. He spent 3 years at the community college, and in 2014, he stopped attending. It was around this time that Randy began his obsession of this Nickelodeon cartoon called Danny Phantom.
I don't know that one.
I'm not a huge cartoon watcher, and I have never seen this show. So I looked up a little quick description of it from Wikipedia, and This is what it says.
Okay.
The series follows Danny Fenton, a teenage boy who, after an accident with an unpredictable portal between the human world and the ghost zone, becomes a human ghost hybrid and takes on the task of saving his town and the world from subsequent ghost attacks using an evolving variety of supernatural powers. Danny is aided in his quest by his two best friends, Sam Manson and Tucker Foley, and later his older sister, Jazz, who for most of the series run are among the only people who know of his double life. So it's kind of this, it had like a cult following. It's kind of this ghost situation.
Yeah, paranormal something or other.
Yeah, and the characters are very like edgy and emo looking, and it just was something right up his alley.
You made me laugh with edgy and emo looking.
They were. That's exactly what they look like. If you could picture like, the emo hairstyle, like
sure,
that's basically what they looked like.
Sure.
Anyway. Randy was specifically obsessed with one of the characters named Ember McLean. She was only on a few episodes, but this was all it took for Randy. Randy also claimed that Ember, even though she was a fictional cartoon character, she was his first crush.
Okay.
On the cartoon, she was a power-hungry musician ghost who hates authority, who thirsts for attention, and has a seductive, sarcastic personality.
Okay.
Yes, and this is his first crush.
Sure.
He referred to Ember as his queen. He mentions in a few of his videos that he knew Ember before he was even born, that they existed together in another realm and were spiritually connected. Yes.
Okay.
With this cartoon character
that someone else wrote. Sure.
Yes, that someone else wrote.
Yeah.
He talks about how Ember helped him and comforted him through some personal tragedies. In January of 2013, one of his close friends was killed in a car accident. And shortly after, his grandfather passed away.
That's a lot of trauma.
That's a lot. Yeah. Exactly. And then Randy himself was also in a car accident, but did not suffer any major injuries.
That's still going to be very triggering and traumatic.
Exactly. So after these tragedies, Randy began to have an obsession for the afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
Randy created his own alternate universe, Ember's Ghost Squad, or EGS for short. It was a fandom universe based off of the Danny Phantom series. There were still ghosts. However, they sought after and recruited suicidal people to join them in the afterlife. I know this is freaky and very disturbing.
So wait, were they
He created
actually
these.
seeking out those people?
No, so this
That's
is
just part of the universe that he created.
yeah, he created and animated this alternate universe himself.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he was drawing these characters, animating them, and this was the storyline. So this wasn't real life in any way, shape, or form. This was
I just didn't know if it was like another thing that he put on YouTube. And
yeah, no,
like,
it is on YouTube.
trying to, but you know what I mean? Like trying to get people that were as he described,
No, yeah. He wasn't targeting anyone through YouTube. He was just creating this alternate fandom based off of the series that he was obsessed with.
I mean, that's probably the healthiest thing that he could do with his energy at that point. Maybe. I don't know.
Kind of.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Yes. He drifted away from Pioneers Productions on his YouTube channel and began to solely focus all his attention on EGS.
Mm-hmm.
He made a 5-part series on the channel, killing off Froggy and Whale.
Oh,
yeah. He viciously stabbed them with a knife.
What?
Yeah. And I have seen clips of this, and it is just freaking weird, to be honest. And then at the very end, he burns them, and it's supposed to be like symbolizing
the end of
end of it. And then he also talks to Ember, the ghost girl in the series, and he thanks her because she's the one that wanted him to do it. And then he kills himself, but not in real life. He kills himself on the YouTube channel. So like,
he simulates that.
Like, I can't find a clip of it. I just read what they said. So I don't know if he shows himself like doing that,
but implies it.
Yes, or just implies it. But like, he does show the stabbing of the stuffed animals, which was weird and disturbing.
Very disturbing
and freaky.
Yeah.
But that was into that era of Froggy and Whale and himself on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
But he was still on YouTube. It just wasn't about those things.
Sure. He's with his new thing.
Yes. He creates 9 Twitter accounts based on his characters and interacts with himself, tweeting between the accounts and role-playing via the tweets.
Interesting.
Very, very interesting. Randy believed that once he dies, he would cross over into the afterlife as a ghost girl and be able to join Ember and the Ghost Squad. So now he's starting to think.
He's starting to believe his fictional reality.
Exactly.
Got it.
Journals, videos on his YouTube channel documented his downward descent into extreme mental illness and dark suicidal thoughts.
That's really sad.
It's very sad. He talks about his gender identity and how he feels like he was born a woman trapped inside a man's body. Ember appeals so much to him because he believes that once he dies, he will come back as a ghost girl, just like Ember.
So more like he feels like he is like basically the ghost girl inside waiting to get the body.
Exactly. Okay. So it feels like once he passes over, he'll be just like this character that he's idolizing.
Yeah.
And that he believes that anyone that dies then becomes a ghost squad.
Okay.
In one video, it shows him flipping a coin. Best out of 3 wins. Heads, he commits suicide at home. And tails, he commits homicide and then suicide. It lands on tails.
Oh, God.
On June 7th, 2017, Randy, 24 years old, arrived for his shift at Weis Supermarket around 11 p.m., where he has been employed for 7 years at this point. He had made up his mind that coin toss, and it was set to put his plan into action.
Okay.
Randy went into the store and straight to the back area where the crew area was and blocked the emergency exit with some wood pallets. He then went about his shift, cleaning up from the previous day and stocking shelves. At 12:10 a.m. on June 8th, He sent out the links to multiple files and videos detailing his plans on his Twitter account. These files were named Journal, Suicide Tapes, and Digital Set. Randy then went about the store, blocking the emergency exits and locking the automatic doors at the front main entrance to the store.
That is so scary.
He proceeded to pull out 2 pistol grip pump action shotguns that he had concealed in a duffel bag. The same type of guns used in the Columbine shooting.
Mm-hmm.
He walked around the store and shot and killed 3 of his coworkers. 26-year-old assistant tag manager Victoria Brong, 47-year-old Navy veteran Brian Hayes, and 63-year-old Terry Lee Sterling. Kristen Newell was listening to music in her headphones while her coworkers were killed and did not realize what was going on. On CCTV footage, it shows Randy walking up behind Kristen while she was stocking shelves and labeling items near the back of the store. It shows him standing behind her for about 5 seconds with the gun pointed to her head.
Oh my God.
She goes to the next aisle to continue working. Randy then begins to fire the guns at glass doors and merchandise in the store. He also shot multiple gas propane tanks. He was hoping they would cause a huge explosion, but they failed to explode.
Okay.
Around this time, Kristen took off her headphones and could hear the gunshots. Terrified, she ran into the break room and called 911. Randy stopped shooting, walked to the deli section, placed the shotgun in his mouth, and committed suicide.
Oh my God.
59 total shots were fired from just one single gun. He had brought the second gun as backup, and I quote him, "Just in case the first one breaks down on me or jams and I have no way of fixing it." Dude.
That's because he wanted to make sure that he could finish himself at the end of it.
Exactly.
That is just awful.
Really horrific.
Yeah.
The shooting did not receive much attention outside of local news outlets. I actually had never heard of this case before. And Dustin
I have heard this one.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
I haven't
seeing about. I either saw something or I read it.
Yeah, Dustin was watching one of his YouTube channels and came across it and of course shared it with me because he thought I would be interested and could talk about it on the podcast.
I mean, how many times do people run up to us to tell us about murders? I love it.
Yes, and I had never even heard of this. It was not on my radar. I had never heard of this one.
Yeah.
1 month later, on July 13th, 2017, Weis Supermarket reopened to the public. The interior had been gutted and remodeled with a new floor layout, but not everyone in town was happy about this. They questioned why they did not relocate the store. And I can totally understand that.
I can understand that. That would be kind of like
traumatic
yeah, and all of that. But at the same time, there is something to not letting someone create a new memory somewhere.
Exactly.
You know.
Yes. This story seems even more tragic to me as it could have been completely prevented. If people watching his YouTube channel had taken his threats and comments seriously, he documented the entire descent into his dark thoughts and sinister plans.
Mm-hmm.
Hindsight is 2020, but watching his videos, I'm really not sure how any of his fans did not see the red flags. They were literally everywhere. I'm not even joking, was like telling people verbatim, I am going to kill someone. People are going to die. And he gave dates and he flipped the freaking coin on the video about killing people and then killing himself.
Do you know at that point how many followers he had at that time?
Yeah, he was pretty popular and there was quite a few people that were following him, and there were quite a few people that were pretty big in the YouTube community that saw these videos.
That is just crazy to me.
It could have been honestly, like you see something weird, you say something. Like, I don't care if it turns out to be nothing. I would rather it be nothing and you cause a big deal than to have something so tragic happen.
100%. I mean, it was the same thing as like, again, like when I was talking about the Columbine days, like, and of course we've had way more tragedy with shootings and mass shootings and all of that since those days.
Right.
And it's just like, if you feel that someone needs help, there's nothing wrong with trying to seek finding someone help or reaching out to them and asking if they need help, because sometimes people just need someone to just say that, and that will help trigger them into going and getting therapy or, finding professional help for something like that. And do not try to help somebody that's suffering from mental illness yourself, because that you're not a doctor. You didn't go to school for it. You can support your friends.
Yes.
Be there for them 100%, but make sure that you encourage them to seek professional help.
100%. And this story was really disturbing to me. And I mean, we do murder all the time and we see a lot of disturbing things, but this story was like I told you, was really hard for me to write because it was just so dark. And so I just felt like I felt for him.
Horrible.
Yeah. And I mean, I felt for him because obviously he was mentally ill.
He was suffering.
But I mean, at the same time, he took these innocent people's lives, and it's just like now it's even more tragic.
It is. It's horribly tragic for so many different people, his family, his friends, I'm sure his followers, because a lot of times there can be things that are said and done in, cosplay situations or in fan fiction and things like that, or even just writing in general, that you can write disturbing things, but you don't act them out, like sometimes that's just an outlet to get things out.
Right.
And so
but like you and I love like murder mystery and unsolved crimes, but we would never
write stories about murder. We write stories about murder every week.
Right. And but that's not on our agenda.
Sure, absolutely.
That's like not what we're ever
literally in the title.
Yes.
But I mean, that's just, it is really sad.
This is such a sad one for me. Like, it was really hard to write. I won't lie. Like, I just there were some things I just had to leave out because it was just so tragic. I just couldn't bring myself to even watch the videos.
Yeah. Especially knowing what was going to happen.
Yes. But my sources, I
was just about to say, forget your sources.
No, my sources were YouTube Coffee House and Crime, YouTube Explore With Us, YouTube in general, because I had to watch a bunch of his videos.
Sure.
And Wikipedia and the podcast Sword and Scale.
Dang, Autumn, that's just left me with a full-on morose feeling.
I know. Yours was kind of like, I mean, yours was sad. Obviously, it's murder,
but you still got him in the
lighthearted.
End. I feel like that's the thing that's so frustrating to me about anyone that does the suicide at the end, is that there's no justice, and in it, not that there ever is real justice, but there's no justice, and it's just sort of like a thoughtless act that happened. He took innocent people that didn't just happen to be at work.
Yes,
it's so fucked up.
And a lot of speculation, and this is just speculation, is that he let Kristen live because the Columbine shooters let one person live.
I mean, with the level of his obsession, that could be.
It was definitely a possibility. There's no evidence. He didn't mention it in any of his journals, but I mean, just thinking about that is probably true.
Yeah, I mean, very well could be. I really hated that one, Autumn.
I know. I didn't really care for it either. It was just, I couldn't believe there wasn't that much media attention for it.
Yeah. And again, like we always say on this podcast, one of the things that we do is we find that it's important to make sure to say the names of victims and that people don't forget this. And it is another reminder for people to, check on your friends and check on, mental health, and therapy fucking works.
Yes.
And, there's never any shame in seeking help. And you should 100% do that if you're feeling unstable in any way, shape, or form, or just having a really hard time. There's so many ways to do it now. And especially with being able to find therapists online, you can do them via Zoom. You can do them literally anywhere at this point.
And there's this like stigma about therapy, and I just wish it would go away because therapy works.
Yeah, I feel like it really is starting to go away, the stigma. There's so many people out there talking about their experience with therapy and how therapy has helped them. I am someone who has done copious amounts of therapy, and it has helped me immensely. I mean,
it really has. Like, it truthfully has. Like, I can attest to it.
It's really helped, me to find balance in my life, and it's worth it. So encourage people, encourage your friends or someone that that might be struggling, and let them know, it's okay. And just do not, it's great to give friends advice and talk to them, but when it's something where someone needs to seek professional help, there's nothing wrong with that. And
right.
Please encourage them to find professional help. And if it's something that you feel like they could be a danger to themselves or someone else, again, say something, call 911, do what you have to do to keep someone safe or others safe. There's nothing wrong with that.
Not at all. Anyway, if anything, I hope a lesson is learned from this.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was another episode down. The next episode will be the 20th, I think. Right?
Yeah.
So we'll have 2 new stories for you. We maybe do something on Instagram. Maybe we'll do something special.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that.
And we just really appreciate everyone and their patience.
So much.
I know I've been getting a lot of messages like, where's the podcast? Where's the podcast?
I know, I have too.
And it makes us feel good that you like listening to us.
Absolutely. And we really do try to get as many done, but we're going to have another one this week that'll come out, and it will be towards the end of the week, but you will be getting another episode sooner than later. So that's
you're welcome.
You're welcome.
I couldn't even say it with a straight face.
All right. Well, we will see you next week, and stay safe and take care, and send us
lock your doors,
send us lots of murders, and carry a birdie. Also, we are not sponsored by Birdie, but I want to be.
Yes, we would love that. Birdie.
Yeah. Anybody that is feeling uncomfortable walking in your car at night, or in the daytime, wherever.
Yeah, like anytime, really. Or like me, when you accidentally pull it out of your purse in Target and
scare the shit out of everybody.
Everyone's staring at you, except the security guard didn't even move.
It is a personal alarm for those that don't know. It is a small personal alarm that just goes on your keychain. It also has a light that flashes on it. That's a bright LED to blind an attacker. It's great. It's small and compact, and you don't even know.
And the alarm is so loud. I can attest to it. I couldn't get the little pin back in because I was so embarrassed.
Yeah.
So bad.
So definitely look into that if you are someone that just, wants something a little extra while you're walking around. It gives me a, bit of peace of mind.
Yes.
So anywho, that's this week's. We will see you next week with more murder, but not
always. Yeah, but not murdering.
Well, they'll be murdering, but we won't be.
Yes, so we won't be.
I had to clarify that. All right. Bye.
Bye.